Hey everyone, and welcome to Boston Autoblog. If you joined me on my last review, I had taken a look at a 2019 Volkswagen Arteon SEL R-Line. And it got me thinking, why don't I go out and do a feature video of the Audi A5 Sportback? Now normally I don't wait this long into a model year to do a feature video of a particular car, because the Audi A5 is due for a facelift, both the exterior and interior. But because the Arteon got me really intrigued in the Sportback segment, I figured why not do a proper feature video of this car. So in this video we're going to take a look at how the A5 compares to its competitors like the BMW 4 Series Gran Coupe and the Kia Stinger GT, and also what it offers in the price range of the Volkswagen Arteon. Now before I get into this video, I'd like to thank Herb Chambers Audi of Burlington in Burlington, Massachusetts for allowing me to do this review. Their link will be in the description below so you can check out their extensive Audi inventory. And so, without wasting any further time, let's get right into this review. If you're familiar with the automotive industry this decade, it appears that the age of sedans is coming to an end thanks to the dominance of crossovers. However, one final bastion of hope for consumers not interested in purchasing an SUV is the Sportback sedan segment. Fundamentally, sedans with coupe-like seat pillars and the practicality of crossovers when it comes to rear cargo volume make Sportbacks the ideal vehicle of choice due to its overall versatility. This market has seen growth over the last few years, and new vehicles have joined the fray to make this a very competitive segment heading into 2020. The big three German manufacturers own the luxury fastback market with the Audi A7, BMW 6 Series, and Mercedes-Benz CLS. With most brands having already filled out the higher end of their lineups, and consumers wanting practicality, bigger cars, and luxury at an affordable price, Sportbacks were the perfect compromise, especially with sales numbers dropping for entry-level and mid-sized luxury sedans. The Audi A5 Sportback arrived in the United States as a 2018 model to go head-to-head against its closest competitor, the BMW 4 Series Gran Coupe. Designed very similar to the coupe variant with a sporty front fascia, aggressive body lines, and distinct taillights, the A5 has a more unique road presence, while also retaining the traditional family sedan appearance that you find with an Audi A4. The Audi A5 we have for this review is a Premium Plus, and is equipped with the S-Line Sport Package, which will include 18-inch 5-spoke wheels wrapped in all-season tires, S-Line bumpers, S-Line sill blades, and sport seats for both the driver and passenger. Full LED headlights come standard, and with progressive turn signals not being legal in the US, Audi found a way to incorporate them into the taillight design while still complying with US laws, which gives the Audi A5 Sportback a more upscale look from the rear. When it comes to dimensions, the A5 is about 3 inches longer than the BMW 4 Series Gran Coupe, 4 inches shorter than the Kia Stinger, and is slightly longer than the Audi A4. This will give the A5 an advantage when it comes to the interior over BMW, which we'll check out later in this video. It should also be noted that when compared to its bigger sibling, the Audi A7, there's close to a 10-inch discrepancy in size. And the reason why it's important to bring this up is because many journalists have questioned whether the Volkswagen Arteon is competing with the A5. But upon closer evaluation, consumers are more likely to stick with a smaller Sportback in this price range, and the Arteon's place in the market is for buyers looking for a more affordable alternative to executive luxury sportbacks, as it's 5 inches longer than the A5 and close to 8 inches longer than the 4 Series Grand Coupe. For performance, the A5 Sportback gets a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that gets 248 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque, and is paired with a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. For 0 to 60 times, Audi rates it at 5.7 seconds, but journalists have reported an acceleration closer to 5.3, which falls right in line with its competitors. All-wheel drive comes standard across all trims for the A5, but is optional on the Audi A4 Premium Plus and Prestige, which makes the Sportback more appealing in northern regions of the country. For fuel economy, you can expect to receive 23 miles per gallon in the city and 34 miles per gallon on the highway. Inside, you're greeted by power-adjustable heated leather seats for both the driver and passenger. For an additional $800, you can option for ventilated seats as well. Standard on the Premium Plus, Audi's virtual cockpit will likely be what attracts your attention the minute you get behind the wheel. Using the buttons mounted on the heated leather-wrapped steering wheel, you can change the display to adjust the size of your gauges so that the screen is dominated by the navigation system, which is my personal preference every time I drive a new Audi. This display will also show your fuel efficiency and other useful information that you can scroll through. Moving over to the infotainment system, you get an 8-inch screen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility. Unlike the A6, A7, and Q8, there's no dual touchscreens, and instead, to access different menus and options, a rotary dial and touchpad will help you navigate through Audi's MMI display. With an interior facelift expected for the 2020 model year, a touchscreen will likely be added, following in the footsteps of the updated Q3, which we got a preview of in this year's New York Auto Show. You'll get a rear backup camera with trajectory, along with rear cross traffic alert. A 360-degree top view camera will only be available on the Prestige trim, which will also be packaged with additional safety technology. On the A5 Sportback, a drive mode selector is included, which will affect throttle response, but the changes in driving dynamics probably won't be noticeable. As we move down towards the center console, you'll find the buttons for your 3-zone climate control settings and 3-level heated seats. Below that, you'll find the drive mode selector and your traction control on and off switch. In front of the gear shift lever, you'll find the rotary dial and touchpad, along with quick access buttons that lead you to different menus and screens. You'll also have touch-sensitive radio presets located here as well, along with the radio volume control. For the center storage compartment, you'll find a wireless phone charging pad and a USB input. Now the most important question is, what is the rear legroom like? Now where I am positioned, where I'm seated behind this seat, now it's not all the way back, but I do have some legroom. Now let's be honest, I'm not the tallest adult out there, but unless you plan on having adult passengers all the time in this car, you will only have maybe adolescents, teenagers, and kids in the back, and they are certainly not going to complain about being cramped in the back. Now one thing to remember here is that the Audi A5 Sportback is about 1 inch longer than the A4, and it's about 4 inches shorter than the Kia Stinger GT. However, despite the discrepancy in length, you only give up about 1 inch of rear legroom. The A5 Sportback is also a little bit longer than the BMW 4 Series Grand Coupe, which will translate to about 1.5 inches more legroom than inside a 430i Grand Coupe. Now also one thing to remember, that if you are comparing this to the Kia Stinger GT or Kia Stinger, that passengers in the back will get climate control as well. Audi offers 3-zone climate control, which is exactly what we saw on the Volkswagen Arteon. Now also with this, thanks to the cold weather package, there will be 3 leveled heated seats. Now when it comes to actually sitting here on a longer drive, really depending on how tall the passenger is in the front or how tall they are in the back, I think they're going to be comfortable. I'm not going to sit here and complain about legroom, just because I think we focus way too much on that, when in actuality, and most likely unless you're an Uber driver, you're mostly going to have adolescents or teenagers in the car, and they're not going to complain at the end of the day when it comes to legroom. But for me, at least a person at my size, around 5'5", 5'6", I'm actually rather comfortable. So of course, one of the plus sides of owning a Sportback is the power liftgate, but also how much cargo room you get. Now the Audi A5 Sportback is rated at 21.5 cubic feet of rear cargo room, which is about 8 cubic feet more than the Audi A4. So just for instance, let's load up this car with my camera gear. Now obviously there's plenty of room. Actually, with the rear seats folded down, you're looking at somewhere around 35 cubic feet of rear cargo room, which is actually putting the A5 Sportback in crossover territory. And then when you're done loading up your car, just press the button and it closes automatically. Now if you've been with me on this channel for a while, you know that I usually review and feature cars that are the higher trim levels that have the most packages included. So you're probably asking, why is he reviewing a Premium Plus? Now this has a lot to do with the Audi A5 Sportback's competition, like the Kia Stinger GT, but also the BMW 4 Series, which in my opinion is its closest competitor. The Premium Plus starts at $48,000, but this one starts at $53,000, and that's due to the cold weather package, the Bang & Olufsen surround sound system, and the S-Line package. I personally think this is the best bargain with the A5 Sportback, just because if you're looking at upgrading to the Prestige, you're paying like $55,000, $56,000, and I'd say at that point, just get an S5, get the bigger engine, have more fun behind the wheel. But the Premium Plus to me offers a nice sense of luxury, but also offers features that you're not going to find in its competitors. The Kia Stinger GT and the BMW 4 Series Grand Coupe, as of right now, with the 2019 4 Series, does not come with a digital information display, and with the Premium Plus package, you get Audi's virtual cockpit. What I also like about the A5 Sportback as well is that leather seats come standard, whereas with the 4 Series, you're looking at faux and imitation leather, which I really do not like. It's one of the things I don't like about the 4 Series Grand Coupe, at least the current generation. In my review of the Arteon, I said that it had a very Audi-like interior, which it does. But I have to say that the Audi A5 Sportback, to me, has a more classy interior. Now, I honestly can't believe I'm saying this as a BMW guy, and some people would disagree with this, that the center console, just the interior itself, I prefer this over the BMW 4 Series Grand Coupe. I prefer this over the F30 Generation 3 Series. Especially with it being a 2019 model, that's what I would say. Now, the 4 Series Grand Coupe does not have an updated interior yet. But if you're looking at 2019 for both models, I prefer this more. It's more welcoming, more classy. It feels a little bit more luxurious. But for me personally, I really do like this center console, the interior. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that it has a digital information display. It's Audi's virtual cockpit. That alone to me is a seller. I like that I have that. I like that it's the best quality really right now on the market. Now for the infotainment system, this is Audi's MMI interface. Reminds me a lot of BMW's iDrive from last generation because this isn't a touchscreen. It's very responsive. I'm so used to using these rotary dials that it's almost second nature at this point. I am just glad that it's not a touchpad like Lexus and Acura. But one thing I will say, this isn't Audi's most up-to-date infotainment system. The Audi A6, A7, and the Q8 that I featured last year has dual touchscreens for both the climate control and the infotainment system. Most likely for 2020 model, there will be an update to the A5 Sportback. There won't be most likely dual touchscreens like in those models, but from what I've seen in the Q3, there's going to be a touchscreen integrated into the dashboard where it's not like the screen that's kind of its own piece. Now, I can't continue on without throwing in the Kia Stinger. Now, obviously, it's not a luxury brand, so you expect to have a V6 at $41,000. But again, if you want performance, you're going to upgrade to the S5 Sportback anyway. And again, the Kia Stinger is not going to have a nicest interior in this segment. And to me, it's really for somebody who wants performance at a cheaper price. Whereas, if you want luxury, this is the way to go. If you want comfort, I think the A5 Sportback is the way to go. And again, if you're really comparing cars in this segment, really go closer with the BMW 4 Series Grand Coupe, whereas that's really the closest competitor right now for the A5 Sportback. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next time.